When the world starts to shake, most people think of escape. The car packed, the map marked, the road calling. Every prepper knows the dream of the perfect bug out, a fast exit before the chaos closes in. But what if there is no road? What if the highways choke with desperate traffic, the gas runs dry, and every direction leads into danger? That's when you realize, sometimes, the only way out is staying in. This is where survival takes a different shape. Bugging in isn't comfort. It isn't waiting. It's war, a long, grinding campaign fought from your own walls, where every decision counts and every mistake compounds. Most people think of it as the easy option. They're wrong, because bugging in doesn't mean you've avoided the fight. It means the fight has found you. Think about what really happens when the grid dies. The hum of the refrigerator fades, the lights flicker out, and the air gets heavy. Water stops flowing, the police stop answering, the supply chain that feeds your neighborhood collapses in silence. Your home becomes an island, and whether that island stands or sinks depends entirely on what you built before the storm. So let's strip away the fantasy. Forget the Instagram shelves of canned beans and bottled water. That's not a plan, that's a delay. Bugging in is not stockpiling, it's system building. It's the art of transforming a static home into a self-contained organism capable of producing, recycling, defending, and enduring. It's logistics, psychology, and discipline all locked inside four walls. And here's the truth few people admit. Time becomes your enemy. The longer you stay sealed in, the more pressure builds. Supplies dwindle, tension rises, and every forgotten detail, every leak, every unsecured door, every overlooked battery becomes a crack in your fortress. That's why most bug-in plans fail before the first month is over. Because survival isn't about what you have, it's about what you can sustain. Start with the basics. Water. You can't live 3 days without it, and yet most preppers underestimate how fast it vanishes. 1 gallon per person per day. That's for drinking and hygiene. Multiply that by weeks, then months, and you realize the math doesn't forgive. Stored water stagnates, containers leak, heat spoils it, bacteria blooms. Every gallon needs a rotation, a filter, a fallback plan, a rain catch system, a gravity-fed purifier, a way to turn runoff, condensation, or even snow into life. Because without renewal, your supplies are just a countdown to dehydration. Then comes food, the most misunderstood comfort. People stock calories, not nutrients. They forget what happens when stress and cold push your metabolism into overdrive. Suddenly, that 1,500 calories per day plan isn't enough. You burn more, eat more, and your reserves bleed faster. Real bug-in food planning isn't about bulk. It's about balance, rotation, and shelf-life discipline. Rice, beans, and pasta form the base, but fats, proteins, and vitamins keep you human. Every can you open should trigger a replacement plan. Eat one, store one, resupply when you can. Your pantry isn't static storage, it's a living cycle. But even perfect logistics can't save you from human nature. Rationing breaks minds before it saves bodies. Watch a family after 2 weeks of monotony. The same meals, the same shadows, the same fear. Someone breaks the routine. Someone eats more than their share.
That's not greed, it's stress. Discipline must become law. Schedules, logs, and roles must be established before panic sets in. Because when tempers flare inside your safe house, the real threat isn't outside anymore. Then there's power, the invisible lifeline modern life depends on. The grid dies first, and when it does, you lose more than light. You lose refrigeration, communication, medical devices, heating, and hope. Generators are loud and finite. Gas runs out. Solar, on the other hand, is silent, scalable, and enduring, but only if you built it before you needed it. A modest solar array and a bank of deep cycle batteries can keep lights on, radios alive, and freezers cold. Combine that with strict energy discipline, no waste, no unnecessary load, and your independence grows. Power isn't comfort, it's control. And heat, or the lack of it, decides life and death in winter. Once the furnace dies, insulation becomes your armor. Seal the windows, isolate a single room, and keep body heat where it matters. Use safe heaters, catalytic or wood-burning, but never improvise with open flames or gas stoves. Carbon monoxide kills silently, faster than hunger. In summer, the battle flips. Ventilation, shade, and hydration become survival systems. Your home must adapt to both extremes because nature doesn't pause for crisis. Water, food, power, heat. These are the mechanical systems, but every system needs defense. Because once society fractures, your home becomes a signal, a light in the dark, and light attracts attention. To survive, you must think like both a defender and an intruder. Your house is no longer a home. It's a stronghold. Visibility becomes risk. Sound becomes signal. Everything you do sends a message, and your goal is to make that message say one thing: not worth it. Deterrence is balance. Show too much force, and you invite challenge. Show weakness, and you invite predation. The best defense looks unpredictable. Motion lights on timers, windows reinforced, choke points established. You don't need a fortress. You need layers, delay, detection, and reaction. The longer it takes someone to reach you, the more time you have to respond. Surveillance is your early warning system. A $50 camera is worth more than a $500 rifle if it buys you minutes of awareness. But technology fails, and batteries die. So integrate human vigilance, watch shifts, communication codes, silent signals. Keep eyes on the perimeter, ears tuned to the neighborhood, and a clear plan for escalation. What happens if someone breaches the fence? Where do you fall back? Where do you hide? Where do you fight? Decide before you have to choose. Yet, even with walls secure and defenses ready, the deadliest threat is invisible: disease. When the medical system collapses, the smallest wound becomes a gateway to death. Hygiene becomes medicine. Clean water, sterile tools, and isolation zones are your new healthcare. Build a first aid cache that goes beyond bandages. Painkillers, antibiotics, antiseptics, antihistamines, rotate and protect them from heat and moisture. Learn to suture, to dress wounds, to spot infection early. Because in a grid-down world, prevention isn't optional. It's everything. Waste management is another battlefield. Without running water, toilets stop. Without disposal, contamination spreads. Chemical toilets, sealed buckets, lime treatments, crude but effective. Keep waste outside your living area, away from your water source. A single oversight here can wipe out your entire household. Disease doesn't care how tough your defenses are. But once the logistics, defense, and health systems are in place, the hardest enemy arrives: isolation. The slow bleed of morale, the erosion of purpose. Humans are social creatures, wired for movement, sound, and connection. Take those away, and even the strongest minds falter. The days blur, motivation dies, fear grows in the silence. The cure isn't distraction, it's structure. Routine turns chaos into order. Morning checks, maintenance rounds, shared meals, tasks assigned and rotated.
When everyone has a role, despair has less room to grow. Purpose is medicine. Exercise keeps the body stable, but it also burns stress. Laughter, rare as it is, becomes a survival tool. A moment of humanity in the dark reminds everyone why they're fighting to endure. Communication breaks isolation's grip. Radios, satellite messengers, even handwritten notes to neighbors. These threads rebuild the sense of connection that chaos tries to erase. Information, when reliable, becomes more than comfort, it's strategy. A signal about a supply drop, a safe route, or a new threat can shift your entire survival plan. Knowledge is a force multiplier. And finally, there's adaptation, the crown of all survival. Bugging in is not a static choice, it's a phase. You stay when it's safer to hold, you move when staying becomes suicide. The wise prepper knows that bug in and bug out are not rivals, they're allies. You build your home to last, but you stay ready to leave. The gear you pack, the routes you plan, the fuel you store, these are your insurance policies against stagnation. The best survivors are those who can read the rhythm of collapse, when to lock down, when to open up, when to blend in, and when to vanish. Because every crisis evolves, and if you can't evolve with it, your walls will become your coffin. Flexibility is the ultimate resource. In the end, bugging in is the crucible of preparedness. It's where theory becomes reality, where every assumption you made is tested by time, pressure, and exhaustion. It's not about hiding from the world. It's about outlasting it, turning a home into a living ecosystem that feeds, shields, and sustains its people long after the lights have gone dark. And when that silence comes, the kind that hums through empty streets and dead power lines, the only thing that stands between you and the void is what you built, what you planned, and what you refused to ignore. Because in survival, comfort is a myth, control is everything. And those who learn to master stillness, to turn confinement into command, they aren't just survivors, they're the architects of resilience. So ask yourself, if the world stopped tonight, could your home keep you alive for a month, a season, a year? Or would it become your trap? The answer to that question isn't written in your pantry, it's written in your preparation. And this is where the real survival begins.